As you know, vocabulary makes up, comprises, composes, is responsible for 25% of your Task 2 IELTS essay. Now, we are going to look at 6 key terms that you can use, especially in your introduction, to have more variety and more range in your writing. So let's start with some key vocabulary for introductions. In IELTS, as you probably know, you need to paraphrase the statement IELTS gives you and put it into your own words. Now, paraphrase means change the words, change the structure, but keep the same idea. So let's look at an example IELTS Task 2 question. Okay, what are some small changes we can make immediately? Let's start with the section that says some people believe. What you can do is use there are those who argue, feel, think. There are those who. For example, some people feel that physical education should be required in all high schools. Well, instead of some people, you could say there are those who think. There are those who argue. There are those who feel. If we look at the IELTS topic, we could change the IELTS sentence to there are those who hold the opinion that consumerism turning into a hobby is a positive development. So, if you get into a situation where they say many people feel, many people think, then you could use the form it is widely thought, it is widely believed, it is widely argued, that subject verb. Many people think that smoking should be banned in all public locations. You could change this to it is widely thought, it is widely argued that the consumption of cigarettes should be prohibited in public locations. Another example, many people are aware, so many people know, many people are aware that global temperatures are increasing. You could change it. It is widely known that average temperatures on Earth are rising. Okay, let's look at another word that can benefit you in IELTS. It is increasingly. Increasingly can mean more and more or more often. For example, you could say increasingly children are spending a large chunk of their day on tablets. So you're saying this is happening more and more often. Another example, inflation is becoming a concern for more and more people. So you could change this and say increasingly inflation is becoming a greater concern for many individuals. Now, you can put increasingly at the start of the sentence, or you can put it before the main verb. Here's an example with our shopping introduction. In the past few decades, the act of shopping has turned from what people do to acquire necessities to an increasingly common hobby for a significant number of people. So, it basically means a more common hobby. Okay, let's look at 4, the word whereas. Whereas can mean while. On the other hand, it is usually used in comparison. Let's look at the example from IELTS. It says, some people believe this is a good thing, but others think it is a negative. Well, you could say there are those who feel that this is a positive, whereas others view it as problematic. Notice how we're using whereas. We're showing difference. Here's an example from a Task 1 IELTS writing. In France, the average cost of petroleum has risen significantly, whereas Italy has seen a modest increase in the price. Notice we are comparing with whereas. Okay, let's look at number 5, detrimental. Detrimental means harmful, damaging, hurtful, etc. The most common form is something is detrimental to something. An example, spending time on one's tablet prior to going to bed can be detrimental, so harmful, to a person's quality of sleep. So, an example from the IELTS statement, there are those who feel that shopping becoming a hobby is positive, whereas others view it as detrimental to one's financial and physical well-being. Harmful. Last word, instead of using good or great, what about a word like beneficial? Beneficial means helpful, useful. The common form, something is beneficial to noun. For example, exercise is beneficial to one's overall health. Now the verb for beneficial is benefit. So you could say exercise can benefit one's overall health. Notice with the verb, you just do not put a preposition after, just an object. Exercise can benefit one's overall health. Or you can use the noun benefit. So the verb and noun are the same. The form is something provides, brings, offers benefit to noun, or something receives or gets benefit from noun. An example, some believe that higher taxes help the economy, while other people disagree. How can we change this into an IELTS statement? There are those who hold the opinion that a country's economy receives benefit from higher taxes, whereas others argue it is detrimental to the economic situation of a country. So let's look at a final IELTS introduction after we've used some of these words. So we have the original here. Now let's look at the paraphrased example. Throughout history, what people do in their free time has changed dramatically. In the past few decades, the act of shopping has increasingly turned into a hobby rather than what people do to acquire necessities. There are those who believe this change is beneficial to the shopper and society as a whole, whereas others view it as a detrimental development. I hold the opinion that due to the environmental damage it causes, shopping becoming a hobby is primarily negative. So that would be a high-level IELTS introduction, and we used 5 of the words we looked at today. Increasingly, there are those, beneficial, whereas, and detrimental. Well, everyone, thanks for watching this lesson. Hopefully, it helps improve your vocabulary score on IELTS. Have a great day and check out my other lessons. Bye.